Welcome to this week's edition of JCS News, bringing you news and announcements from around the Jefferson County school system. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Jamie. On Sunday, January 8th, the Washington High School National Honor Society held an induction ceremony for its new members. Here's more information by Amanda Vera Collins.
Earlier this month, on January 8th, 24 new members were inducted into National Honor Society. During the ceremony, each inductee lit their own candle with the candle of knowledge to signify their achievement. To be eligible for National Honor Society, you must possess these 4 qualities: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. If you will want to apply next year, you will need to have at least a 3.2 unweighted GPA to begin the process. Ask Mrs. Lucas for more details. You can contact her at thubbard@k12.wv.us or go directly to A202.
Thanks, Amanda. For more information about the National Honor Society, visit the organization section of the WHS website. If you have an NHS chapter at your school, discover all the great community service projects sponsored by the Society.
The most recent Jefferson County Board of Education's regular meeting took place on Monday, January 30th, where numerous recognitions were presented. Charlestown's Hollywood Casino has donated to both Washington High School and Wright Denny Intermediate School. Principals Mrs. Judy Marcus and Mr. Chris Walter explained the many benefits bestowed on the schools by the casino.
We are always pleased to have the donations. Some of the things we've used them for, we have sponsored 2 fine arts student performances. A dance company comes in, they actually do the performance for our fine arts students, and then they lead classes. We're having the second one on March the 10th. We're very grateful. We also purchased chess club supplies. We had not had a chess club. We needed the chess boards. We purchased a marching baritone 1127 series. Just read about $6,000 in there. We also purchased a communication radio set that we use for football, but we also use it for our band presentations, etc., communication systems. We did also build a press box for our softball team. We put the equipment in our concession stand after the board was so kind to build the building. We furnished it using the kind donations. We always appreciate it, and it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
And also, we appreciate that every year that we get a donation from the track. Typically what we do is we try to give to something that the students get their hands on, something very tangible, not consumable. And that's our money's gone into our presentation stations throughout all the classrooms in the building. I can remember years ago that some of these guys are retiring now and long gone. Al Britton's not there anymore. Dickie Moore on the verge of retirement. Roger Ramey retiring. And one of the things they came to tell us was one of their core values is they wanted to be good neighbors. And as business has gotten tough for them with the competition around them, they've always remained good neighbors. So we appreciate it.
Art students from Washington High School were recognized, as was their instructor, Mr. Sam Nelson, for realizing an outdoor mural sponsored by the Jefferson County's Art Council's City Art Project located at the entrance to Charlestown. The 8x8 mural is a reproduction of an original work by Patty Willis entitled The Earth and the Sky. Students involved in the project are Kaylee Ball, Taylor Ostrich, Isaac Seifers, Lauren Suka, and Agnes McAuliffe.
Giselle Perry, a licensed professional counselor director of behavioral health at West Virginia University Medicine, offered her time and resources free of charge to perform mental health scanning for all 7th grade students attending Jefferson County schools. A much-deserved thank you goes out to Mrs. Perry, who not only recognized by the Jefferson County Board of Education, but received a proclamation from United States Senator Joe Manchin for her contribution to the youth of Jefferson County, West Virginia.
3 Washington High School students, Matteo Sarasoli, Jacob Thrasher, and Jackson Stewart, were recognized as state finalists in this year's West Virginia Minecraft contest. Students were challenged to build a replica of the West Virginia State Capitol. Matteo explained the contest to the Board of Education.
My name is Matteo Sarasoli. Over here we have Jacob and Jackson. And so this competition that we entered, I learned about it from a contact that I met at the State Science Fair this past school year, and it was pretty much as an email, it was detailing it was a competition to build a replica of the West Virginia the State Capitol building in Minecraft, and it was part of the Governor's STEM initiative. So and I thought it'd be cool, to enter a competition, so I called up my 2 friends here and said, hey guys, we should do this. And after a little bit of trouble trying to get started, we got on our way with creating it, and we submitted it, and a couple of months later we got an email back saying, hey, you guys are one of 10 state winners. So we were invited down to the Capitol building, where each of us received $300 in Amazon gift cards and shook hands with the governor, which is worth a little bit more than $300.
Congratulations to Matteo, Jacob, and Jackson.
Harpers Ferry student Donnie Hawkins took it upon himself to organize and execute a pet food drive that benefited the Animal Welfare Society of Jefferson County. Mr. Vandal, principal of Harpers Ferry Middle School, explained Donnie's efforts.
He was interested in some type of initiative to help the pet shelter, the Jefferson County Animal Welfare Society, and he wanted to have food donated. So he came to me with the idea, and he came up with announcements, and he did it all, and I just turned it over to him. And he would get on the PA and announce to the students, and before we knew it, we had bins outside the office and kids were bringing in food, and he actually had the idea to have a competition where the winning class, he talked me into that. I don't think I had much of a choice, would get a free, like a recess period at the end of lunch one day. So we did that. And Donnie, you gave me the scientific amount that you collected. What did you tell me earlier?
I raised like a full truckload.
Yeah. I asked him how many pounds, and he said, well, it was a truckload. No.
Washington High School art teacher Laura Burkholder spoke of Bethany Jennings and Sabrina Hartman in support of their art cover that appeared on a West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission program. The WVSSAC monitors and coordinates all athletic and band activities for the state of West Virginia.
First of all, my graphic design class designed a sports cover for the WVSSAC, which is our state championships for West Virginia. And Bethany and another young lady named Sabrina Hartman won their design cover contest and got a scholarship to a college of their choice. And so we're passing around the designs that they did now.
Nice.
These designs are exceptional, one, because these students did them on a computer. And it's, you know, as talented as Bethany and Sabrina are with visual art, whenever they take a computer class, they're pushed out of their comfort zone. They're pushed out of their comfort zone, and this is hard to do, and they did a great job. They kept the images copyright free. They did a great mashup of those not only the images but the font as well, so they did a great job.
Congratulations to Bethany and Sabrina.
In an unscheduled recognition, Mrs. Burkholder told about an art project that has connected Jefferson County to New York City. We hope you enjoy this wonderful story.
Last November, a few days after our United States election ended, I received an email from an art teacher in New York City. She told me that her students are 100% immigrant, all are English language learners, representing 46 countries. She said that her students, having experienced very little of America beyond the borders of New York City, were developing negative stereotypes and biases of other Americans based on the troubled times in our country. She knew she wanted to somehow address this. She realized that she wanted to build a bridge of understanding and peace for her students through the use of art and have them understand that we are all more alike than we are different. She reflected on her own blue state that is New York and started to research red states. She looked at data maps of election results and focused on voters between the ages of 18 and 25, which were closest in age to high school students. West Virginia came up as one of 4 states in that demographic area. How did she find Washington High School? Well, she Googled high school art programs in West Virginia and found the article about the Art Club mural project. She threw a dart, emailed me, and hoped that it would stick. I responded to her immediately and we began a correspondence. I decided to have my students introduce themselves to her students with a card that they made by hand. Miss Ober, another art teacher at WHS, also got involved, and together we had over 90 students create cards to introduce themselves in their state. Their task was to select a place in Jefferson County that was special to them. Their cards were not only, and Bethany made one of these cards. Hers is the one on the front with the little tree in front of the Shepherdstown Library. Their cards were not only breathtaking to gaze upon, but the stories inside were so personal and so cultural and so us that I found myself looking at my own students differently. When I say that they got the point of what they needed to do for our friends, well, they got it. The images included not only our historical Civil War landmarks found in Harpers Ferry, such as John Brown's fort that he was captured in, but they also drew the things that had personal meaning to them, such as tubing in the river, their favorite ice cream parlor, the old opera house, or even the images of the wild bears that roam our mountains. Miss Ober commented that it spoke to the heart of our children to create these with such time and care, and then to give their creations away to never get back. There is so much more that has occurred that I would love to share here, but I know that our time is short. I have video footage of not only the teacher in New York City presenting this lesson to her kids and how her kids reacted whenever they received our gifts. Applause, tears. One student said, I've never gotten a letter before in my life. And then I took video footage of my kids whenever she mailed their responses back to us. We are documenting everything, so please email me if you would like for me to share extended information with you. They're also going to fundraise. They've decided, her kids told her that they want to come to West Virginia on a field trip. So she said, she kind of laughed it off, and then her principal said, okay. And so I looked at Miss Marcus, and Miss Marcus said, okay. So they're going to fundraise, and we're going to do some fundraising too to help them get here. So that's it.
We will keep in touch with the art class to see how New York conversations develop. Look for some more updates in our next edition.
Each month, the Jefferson County Board of Education chooses, by nomination, a Spirit of Jefferson Award winner from both professional and service personnel. This month's Spirit of Jefferson Award winners are Denise Likens, science teacher at Wildwood Middle School, and Todd Brady at Ranson Elementary. Congratulations to both winners.
We will have board news reports available after the February 13th meeting. In the meantime, remember that you can replay all Board of Education meetings online on the jcsvideoserve.net website. A direct link can be found in the Board of Education section of the Jefferson County Schools website.
Our school system is constantly changing and evolving to service the needs of all Jefferson County students. In order to keep the public informed about our school system, we've added the Administration and Guidance Report. We'll be visiting and speaking with school or county level administrators and guidance counselors to keep you informed as the school year progresses. With this week's report, we visited Jessie Carter, an intern from the Washington High School Guidance Department, to discuss her desire to become a counselor.
I actually wanted to become a counselor before I went into my undergrad and made a last-minute decision to go into marketing. And after needing a career change, it just like my heart told me to go into counseling because I had such a positive experience with the counselors in my high school. They helped me through a troubling time my senior year when I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody else, and I wanted to be that for another student where when they felt like they couldn't really talk to anyone else, they had a safe place at school. You have to have your master's, and each state is a little different with their licensure, but I know in West Virginia you do need to take your praxis to become licensed. I live in Maryland, and you do not need a praxis, but you do need to get your master's in specifically school counseling. Since October, I was only doing 2 days a week back in October, and now I'm 5 days a week until June. It's funny because I feel like such an observer here. I'm really not that involved yet. So I think the biggest experiences that have reached out to me have been watching the behind the scenes, like when a child comes in upset and leaves feeling better and able to go back to class. Like that is the goal of the school counselor, is to make this a place where you can succeed. And if you're so upset that you have to go home, then you're not going to be in class, you're not going to pass, you're not going to graduate. So the fact that a school counselor can take a child who's feeling so distraught, help them through that process, and then get them collected enough to go back to class, that it's like such a normal small thing, but to me it's like the whole purpose of being a school counselor. So
Thanks, Amanda. We'll have more administration and guidance news when we visit with departments from other Jefferson County schools. If you would like your school to contribute to our administrative news segment, contact us at jcsvideoserve.net and we'll come to your location to record your message. We'll be right back after this.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Over the years, we've had some pretty significant events occur during the last part of January. Here's a history segment by Ethan Brady and Tatum Warchow for the 4th week of January.
On February 6, 1952, Queen Elizabeth became Queen of Britain. After a long illness, King George VI of Britain and Northern Ireland died in his sleep. Princess Elizabeth, oldest of his 2 daughters and next in line to the throne, was actually in Kenya at George's death, so she was crowned on June 2, 1953, at age 27. Queen Elizabeth was born April 21, 1926. It was always known she succeeded her father. She married her distant cousin, Philip Mountbatten, on November 20, 1947.
Queen Elizabeth understood the importance of public relations, as shown when she televised her coronation. She is the 40th British monarch since William the Conqueror. In 2003, she celebrated her 50 years on the throne, the 5th monarch to do so. There are times when she has had challenges. Many British citizens complain about their tax dollars going to pay for the royal family's travel and palace upkeeps. Today, she is one of the wealthiest people in the world.
February 1st, 1884, the first Oxford English Dictionary was first published. The project began when members of the Philological Society of London decided in 1857 that the dictionaries were flawed and incomplete and called for a thorough examination of English. They didn't realize the work would be long and very difficult. The first step was taken when the Society made an agreement with the Oxford University Press to help make progress. The new dictionary was planned to be a 4-volume, 6,400-page compilation that included vocabulary from 1150 AD onward, along with earlier words if they had continued to be used. James Murray and his team had estimated the project would take about 10 years to complete. 5 years later, they had reached as far as the word ant. Murray and his colleagues lengthened their schedule due to the complexities of English, keeping track of new words, and the past 7 centuries of the language development. Murray managed to publish the first part in 1884, but a more comprehensive work was needed than what was imagined nearly 30 years earlier.
On February 7, 1964, the Beatles arrived in New York City. This was the Beatles' first time on American soil. The Beatles were a British rock and roll quartet. 6 days prior to their landing, they'd taken the U.S. #1 hits list with I Wanna Hold Your Hand. They nearly caused a riot as 3,000 fans greeted them with screams. 2 days after their arrival, they made a guest appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show. Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr performed live, although they could hardly be heard over the screaming teenage girls in the live studio audience. It's estimated that 63 million of the American population tuned in to watch. 4 days after arriving to America, they put on their first public concert at the Coliseum in Washington, D.C. Over 20,000 fans attended. The next day, they gave 2 back-to-back performances at New York's Carnegie Hall, where police were forced to close off surrounding streets due to fan hysteria. On February 22nd, the Beatles returned to England. The Beatles remained relevant throughout the 1960s when it came to the youth. Critics of all ages acknowledged the music genius of the Lennon-McCartney team. The Beatles disbanded in 1970. During the next decade, the boys led separate but successful careers. Lennon was shot outside his New York apartment in 1980 by a crazed fan. McCartney was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II for his contributions to British culture in 1997. Harrison fell to cancer in 2001.
Our program wouldn't be complete without recognition of our elementary and middle schools, so here are some elementary news items and announcements from around the school system. Mrs. Nicole Schaefer was recently named principal of Paige Jackson Elementary School. She was born in Manassas, Virginia, and has been in education for 18 years, 12 as a teacher and 6 as an administrator. Congratulations to Mrs. Schaefer on her new position. Shepherdstown Elementary has DEA dance classes for 4th and 5th grade students every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. We'd also like to congratulate Mr. Scott Jacobson as the new principal at Shepherdstown Elementary. He has dedicated over 15 years to teaching science and math to elementary students. TA Lowry is wrapping up their emphasis of the trustworthy pillar of character counts. No kidding, you can trust me on this. That is all the elementary news this time.
Elementary schools are encouraged to submit your activities, meetings, and fundraising activities to JCS TV at jcsvideoserve.net. We will gladly pass on your information to the public.
Sometimes you never know what treasures are right under your nose until you look. Here's Jamie Ingersoll and Jillian Sabrina with local activity suggestions for your weekend.
Hey guys, it's Jamie. The other day, me and Jillian went to Mi de Gallardo, a Mexican restaurant in the area that's a local favorite.
Here we are at Mi de Gallardo in local Charlestown, going in for a hopefully good dinner. Would you recommend this restaurant to a friend?
Yeah, I would. I have a gluten allergy, and there's a lot I can have here.
That's good. Usually it's hard to find food, so you would recommend this
Definitely.
to someone with allergies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
come here often?
Probably about twice a week.
Is it a good family establishment?
I think so. I always bring my kids here, and I often see the little kids here. And I think the people that own the restaurant bring their own kids here. There's a little girl back there coloring right now.
Do you have a favorite menu item?
I like to try different things, but I think overall my favorite menu item would be the steak fajitas.
Meet de Gallardo provides a great atmosphere, even greater food, and a friendly staff. I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Well, I know I'll be going to Meet de Gallardo a lot more. Hope to see you there.
Thanks, Jamie. Take advantage of the specials at Meet de Gallardo and have a great time with friends or family.
And now, here's Dana to look at sports from around the county.
Welcome everyone. We are at the end of our winter sports season, so here's a snapshot of final upcoming athletic events from Jefferson County schools. Starting off with middle school, the Charlestown Panther boys are on the home court against South Middle on Monday, February 6th. The contest is in the evening, while the girls are away on the same night against South Middle. The Harpers Ferry Tiger boys are on the road for their last meeting against Mountain Ridge on Monday, February 6th. The girls are home, and once again, the contest is in the evening. Monday, February 6th is cheer recognition night for the Wildwood Mustang boys. Last game, where the boys will host the Shepherdstown Cardinals at 6 p.m. The Wildwood girls will face the Cardinals in Shepherdstown. Speaking of Shepherdstown, we had no submissions from the Cardinals, but hope to have some news from Shepherdstown Middle School included during the spring season. Moving on to high school sports. On February 3rd and 4th, the Washington Patriots will be at the Big Atlantic Classic game. The times are yet to be announced. Check the Washington High School website for details. On February 7th at 7 p.m., the Patriots go against Hampshire at home. On the 10th, the Patriots' final regular season game is against the county rivals, none other than the Jefferson Cougars. It promises to be a game to remember. That will finish off the regular winter season. Catch us again next time for more sports information.
The weather is always changing and challenging to predict. Here's Diana with our weather forecast for the next week.
Hello everybody, let's get started with a quick look at temperatures in the region. Recently the high has been in the upper 30s to mid 40s in the eastern panhandle. Throughout the next 7 days, sunrise will be around 7:16 a.m. and sunset will be approximately 5:35 p.m. Throughout the next week, the Jefferson County highs on Saturday will be around 38 with clear skies and lows will hover around 26. Sunday will be 43 and overcast with lows near 35. Monday will be clear and a little warmer with a high of 47. The low will stay the same at 35. It looks like rain on Tuesday with temperatures holding steady 48 for the high and 45 for the low. Wednesday continues to be rainy with a seasonably warm 52. Look out though, because the lows for Wednesday night will quickly dip down to 29 as a cold front comes through. Thursday and Friday will be cloudy and continue to be cold in the low 30s. Nighttime temps will be near 20. The following weekend looks like it's going to remain cloudy and cold with one silver lining. There will be no chance of precipitation, so just bundle up yourself and you'll be fine. That's it for the weather. All of our data comes from the National Weather Service and the Weather STEM station at Jefferson High School. No matter what the weather, have a great day. I'm Diana Bongiovanni.
That's all the news, views, and sports for now. Join us next time when we feature video creations by the Washington High School Digital Design class. Until then, I'm Amanda Vera Collins.
And I'm Jamie Ingersoll. See you next time.